Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here. Today, we're taking a completely unfiltered look at what it actually takes to win. Going through the source material, it hit me. We really need to strip away all the fluff. Forget the shortcuts, forget those overnight success myths you see everywhere. We are diving straight into the realities of the grind. We're going to explore how turning harsh truths into actionable success is, honestly, the only real path forward. So let's get right into it and understand the actual mechanics of high achievement.
I want you to take a second and genuinely ask yourself, did you expect this not to be hard? Did you honestly expect this massive thing you're trying to achieve to just be a walk in the park? We've got this habit of romanticizing the finish line, but the source material really forces us to confront the reality of the journey itself. The pain, the fatigue, that complete lack of motivation, the dark moments, it's all totally normal. Literally every single person competing with you, yeah, they feel the exact same hunger and the exact same exhaustion.
Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute reality check here is that everything worthwhile is uphill. Period. End of story. Success requires years of doing completely unrewarded work. We're talking about putting in the time, running the routes, lifting the weights, and not for some immediate shiny trophy, but just to be ready when that opportunity finally comes knocking. The game doesn't care how much time you put in. You're putting that time in for yourself to build the ultimate confidence.
Which brings us to Section 1, the price of greatness. Let's talk about the actual cost of winning. To truly be great at something, there's a massive cost. True champions, they almost seem broken sometimes because they completely lack an off button. To hit that level, they basically have to abandon their concern for everything else. And man, this creates such a stark contrast between those who make it and those who don't. Think about it. What keeps people broke in today's world? It's sitting there, endlessly scrolling, just watching other people live their lives. It's being a spectator. Winning habits require the exact opposite of that. You have to ask yourself, why would you not take a chance on yourself? You've got to stop watching from the sidelines and actually step into the arena.
So let's break down what stepping into that arena actually looks like on a random Tuesday. The reality of hard means you are going to lose sleep. For sure. You will doubt whether any of this will actually work. You'll stress out trying to make ends meet, and you are going to spend years, yes, years, doing things that everyone else finds incredibly boring. But here's the secret sauce. That is the selection criteria. This exact hardship is why most people quit. Pushing through it is the only thing that will make you stand out from the crowd. If it's hard, good. That means no one else is going to do it.
It really all boils down to this harsh reality. Lazy people don't know how to start. Weak people don't know how to finish. But successful people, they literally don't know how to stop. They've geared everything in their life toward one single goal. When the pace gets incredibly slow and that deep frustration hits, weak people just abort the process. Champions, they just keep going.
Moving on to Section 2, it's you against you, the art of overcoming yourself. So we've established that the external path is totally uphill and painful. But now we really need to look inward, because guess what? Your biggest obstacle isn't the environment, it's not the economy, and it's certainly not your competition. What is actually preventing you from achieving your vision? Take a second right now to reflect on the vision you see of yourself. What do you actually want out of life? And honestly, think about the excuses you've been leaning on.
If we're being completely, brutally honest here, the material points out a harsh truth. The problem is you. It really is just you against you. If you misunderstand this, you're going to have a real problem. Our limits and our fears, they're very often just illusions we've created in our own minds. Actually believing that you can is infinitely more profitable than believing that you can't.
And the advice from the source takes it a step further. We're constantly looking outward to blame others, right? Our boss, our bad circumstances, our relationships, but the answer is remarkably clear. Work on the inside and your outside changes. You have got to bury the past. Just let it die. Forgive yourself for your wrongdoings, because holding on to past failures, that will destroy your future faster than absolutely anything else. Work entirely on yourself.
All right, Section 3, rethinking pressure and embracing fear. For years, we've been sold this complete myth that stress is entirely bad and the ultimate goal in life is just to, relax, sip a margarita on a beach. But the truth, your brain actually needs pressure. It craves constant pressure and stress. Being bored, having nothing to do, that is actually much more dangerous. Pressure forces your brain to lock in and aggressively focus on the task at hand. It builds your intensity. Pressure makes your eyes literally pop open. It pulls you out of that sluggish, zombie-like routine and makes you incredibly alert to the opportunities and the dangers around you.
Ultimately, pressure makes you live. It makes everything seem vibrant and exciting because you have a genuine mission to get things done. You actually must get addicted to uncomfortable action. Why? Because the absolute best things in life, the life you really want, they sit right there on the exact opposite side of your fear.
Which brings us to the true definition of courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. There's this fascinating anecdote in the material about Iron Mike Tyson. He used to literally cry before every single fight. Why? Because he was utterly terrified. But guys, that is exactly what bravery is. It's moving forward, taking the hit, and doing the thing you absolutely don't want to do, even when you are scared out of your mind.
This leads us to Section 4, defining your goals, the 3 pillars.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we channel all that pressure and courage. You have to answer 2 fundamental questions. Who am I, and where am I going? Success is cleanly compartmentalized into these 3 clear pillars. First, your personal and family goals. You need to write down clearly why you're alive and what you want for your family. Second, your business and financial goals. This is your external contribution to the world. And third, your self-development goals. This right here, this is the engine. Your tenaciousness in developing yourself is the absolute key to accomplishing those first 2.
And regarding those financial goals, there is an incredible piece of mentor advice in here. Stay small enough long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. The speaker mentions making 30 grand a month, but consciously keeping his overhead at just 3,000 or 4,000. He drove a Kia Optima until he had millions saved in the bank. Only then was he forced to upgrade to a Maserati. It's all about keeping your expenses low and completely ignoring that rush for flashy jewelry and cars until your foundation is truly, solidly built.
And finally, Section 5, the execution challenge. Time to stop overthinking.
Seriously, it is time to stop playing the what if it doesn't work game. What if all the opportunities line up perfectly just because you finally showed up with everything you had? So here is your first execution metric, 24 hours. If you have a brilliant idea and you cannot execute the most basic, boring, simple form of that idea within 24 hours, you are overthinking it. Stop obsessing. Stop planning endlessly. Just start.
And that brings us to the ultimate challenge, 6. 6 months of real, relentless effort. The speaker challenges you to give it absolutely everything you've got for the next 6 months. No half effort, no distractions, 0 excuses. Stop feeding your weaknesses and double down on your strengths. Because if you apply consistent, laser-focused effort for just 6 months, your entire life situation will look completely different.
As you embark on that 6-month challenge, I want you to hold on to these lines from the famous poem Don't Quit that was mentioned in the source material. Success is failure turned inside out. So stick to the fight when your hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. You are going to get hit hard. That is a 100% guarantee. But getting back up every single time, brushing the dirt off, and never giving up on yourself, that is exactly what turns failure into victory.
We've seen today that success doesn't necessarily go to the smartest person in the room, or even the most naturally talented. It goes to the one who flat out refuses to stop. It goes to the person who is willing to do what others simply won't. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with one final, provocative question to carry into your next 24 hours. How hungry are you for success?